Hello class, my name is Finnin Koster. You can call me Mr. Koster. Let's start this off by asking a question. What do you guys know about Native Alaska history, culture, or what do you guys know about Alaska? You guys know quite a bit, I think. So if you want to learn more, a great way to do this is by learning how to research, which is what we're going to be talking about today. So, what is research?
First grade, so you can actually learn about this.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a type of study.
Yeah, that's a really good example. That's a really good definition. Yes.
Okay. It's when you if say you wonder about something, you can.
How do you research effectively?
So, research question. That's what you start. Right?
This is what you're going to be researching. 2, you want to stay open-minded. This is super important because you don't want to go into a research project expecting an answer because that is going to skew your data. Reliable sources, this is super important. We'll talk about it in a minute. Different perspectives, this is also important because you want to cover all aspects of a subject and all of the perspectives of a subject. Presenting a conclusion. This is also super important. For example, you need a way to present your citing sources. This is also super important. This avoids plagiarism, which is taking someone's work without citing it. This can get you in a ton of trouble, legal trouble, trouble in school. How do you form a good research question? So start with something that interests you, right? You don't want to research something that's super boring, right? Or if you're doing this for school and you have to do something that's boring, try to spin it in a way that might interest you. Something that has multiple perspectives. Not everything you research is gonna have multiple perspectives, but this is something you gotta watch out for. And then an initial search for sources involving the chosen topic. You don't want to pick a research topic that has no sources, elsewise you're not gonna be able to find anything. What is a reliable source, right?
Is a website that has true information that you can use and sometimes to find different information.
Yes. How would you find true information?
Right.
Reliable sources are super important. So let's talk about it. An example of a reliable source could be a government website, right? Government websites almost always have correct information, very useful. Peer-reviewed sources. Peer-reviewed source means that somebody has checked it over many times. Many people have checked it over. This information is always good. If someone sees a peer-reviewed source, this is going to look great. Universities almost always correct information. They're almost always peer-reviewed. Unbiased news sources. So bias is implementing one's own opinion into something. So you don't want a biased news source. It can be sometimes hard to tell. You can look up a bias checker online. You can find if it's biased or not. Avoid social media sites. People can just write whatever they want on social media site. This information is very unreliable. Don't use it. Avoid websites where anyone can type their opinion, like Wikipedia. Again, information could be incorrect or biased. Avoid AI. This collects information from all over the internet. It could be incorrect. Plagiarism, and it's impossible to cite, as well as if it doesn't find sources for anything, it can just make stuff up. So yeah, don't use AI. Primary sources versus secondary sources. This is super important. So a primary source is a direct first-hand account of an object of study. This is almost always more reliable. Examples of this, a diary or autobiography, oral histories, photographs. Yeah. Secondary sources are a source that provides information about an object of study. So an example of this could be a news source reporting on something, or a textbook, a biography, or books that interpret, or political commentaries. Moving on. How do you present research, right? There are so many ways you can present research. You can basically do whatever you want, kind of. So, you could do an example of what you could do. You could do an essay, presentation, video. These are all many different ways. You can, basically the sky's the limit as long as you get the correct information across in a way that's easy to understand. So why is this important? Can anyone answer this question? Why this might be important? Yeah, so you're going to need it for high school, right? High school and middle school, you're going to need to do research projects. If you end up staying in the Valley and go to high school, you have to take AP seminar. That is an entire class about research. Many different jobs you do will require you to research. So yeah. So what you're going to be doing today, because I do actually have an assignment for you guys. So you're going to break into 5 groups, which you're already broken up into 5 groups, so that's great. Each group is going to have a region of Alaska. We'll talk about that in a second. Each person in the group will research and answer the questions on the provided paper. There are also instructions on the paper as well. When you're finished with all the questions, compare answers with your group, and then switch tables and see what each group wrote. We'll do that later. So your teacher should have posted an assignment on Google Classroom that you guys can access. So let's talk about the 5 regions of Alaska. So you have far north, you guys will have far north. We have interior, you guys will have interior. Southwest, you guys will have southwest. South central, that's where we live. You guys will have south central. Southeast, you guys will have southeast. Does everybody got that? All right, cool. So moving on. So what you should be doing. So the instructions are up on the board. And then don't do question 6 yet. Wait later for that.
So you guys, you two just answer.
Oh, so for the sources? So,
Yeah, that must be.
or you can double click and then there are instructions on the paper.
What?
So clear that.
Languages.
And then click on one of these.
Telling me about
You can see here where your community is, and then you're gonna go to that spot on the map with all the dots on it. You're gonna click on the dot, and that'll show a community, right? And then you'll write that on your paper for question 1. Does that make sense?
Okay. I got it.
So if you go on.
Okay, I'm just gonna go. Yeah, we just caribou. So we don't have animals, fish, and then. Okay, so it's interior right here. So what I did.
So, what you guys are going to do now is you guys are going to switch groups. Leave your Chromebooks where they.
So we're going over I can't read the
exactly what that says, except you can't tell what that says. How did you sign up? They didn't add a hot cross.
Let's go over.
Are you the medic?
We went to 5. Go join your group. I don't know what it says.
You guys switched groups, so now you're going to write a couple of sentences on the worksheet about something you saw in another group, something interesting, and then share out what you guys saw. And then I noticed you guys all struggled with question 3, so we'll also talk about that in a minute. And then, yeah, cool.
Question 5.
That's fine if you guys do. We'll talk about the ones you guys struggled with. Another one is whales. So why would whales?
That they mostly relied on their ancestors in the river.